Alright guys, what we have here is the UAV option code. It comes with a gloss black center bezel here. This is a high resolution touchscreen, phenomenal picture. It does have embedded GPS navigation. As you can see, the back is a little bit different. So the way that the UAV works is it uses a separate screen. So you'll need additional connectors. So I actually designed this cable here. This is a pre-production cable. Basically, this is going to install easily in the back, which I'll show you in a little bit, to retain your factory wiring. And then also you'll have an LVDS cable, which is a digital signal going from a module in the vehicle going to the screen. So let's get started. Alright guys, just like the other upgrade, we're going to remove this lower controller with the 2 torque screws on the top here. We're going to pull it from this bezel and we're going to put it on that one. Alright guys, now that we have the lower controller installed, we're going to go ahead and set this aside. Alright guys, now what we want to do is we want to install the UAV module. Now this is the brains of the whole upgrade here for the UAV upgrade. So basically you'll notice these 4 locations here, this is where it's going to screw into. Now since this vehicle didn't come with this, Ram didn't put the nuts in here. So what we'll do is we will include not only 4 nuts, but also 4 screws, so you can adhere that into there. So we'll do that in a moment. So let's talk about wiring. So this connector, or this series of connectors, is for the radio. We do have a satellite radio antenna here. We did run this earlier in the video. If you have factory satellite radio, this will either be a teal color or a curry colored. So we'll set this aside. Now what we're looking at is a few extra wires. This is your cigarette or switch power source that's on the top. We won't be dealing with that quite yet. So let's look at these connectors here. This black connector here plugs into your climate control module. Okay? This one here plugs into that lower controller that we keep switching out. If you have the trailer brake system, the electronic trailer brake, this connector will be plugged in there. Those of you who do not have the electronic trailer brake, it will be taped back from the factory. It's actually pre-wired for that. We do carry that on our website, by the way. So anyways, what we're dealing with in this particular case are these 2 connectors. So our custom cable here, to make this install possible, or part of it, is actually going to plug in here. This will plug into your climate control, and then this will plug into your display screen. As I mentioned, this is a prototype harness. The production harness we have coming here in the next week will have labels on it so you can know what to do. But this is basically it. This little one here is not used in this application. What we're going to do now is just pop these nuts into place. Now what we're going to do is we're going to plug one end of the LVDS cable into this lower white connector here. The rest of the plugs will be just like the other radios. You plug them in the exact same way. So once it's all plugged in, kind of just tuck the LVDS cable back a little bit. But now we can use the 4 included screws to screw it into place. Alright guys, now we're going to plug in our display center stack. So we're going to have our cigarette lighter plug up here. We're going to have our LVDS cable plug in here. Our new infotainment harness will plug into the display screen. And then the other end of our infotainment harness will plug into the climate control. Plug the gray plug into the lower controller. If you have the brake controller, you will have a spot for this connector to go to. In this particular case, we do not. So basically, it's as easy as just plugging in these connectors, plugging in our cigarette lighter, and then popping it into place. We can now install those 2 screws on the top. Alright guys, the next thing we're going to want to do is run the programmer. This is going to reprogram the BCM in the vehicle to accept our UAV upgrade. So we partnered with OBD Genie to come up with a programmer. This is an awesome programmer. It makes this possible. So basically what we're going to want to do first is we're going to want to connect the security gateway module bypass. So there's a module, I just took this panel off, you don't need to, but there's a module located right back here that has 2 connectors in it. Just simply reach up and disconnect those 2 connectors, and then plug those 2 connectors temporarily into the bypass. Alright guys, those of you who have a heavy duty RAM, the 2500 through 5500, the security gateway module is actually located behind the cluster, the speedometer cluster. So if you scroll to the end of the video, I'll show you heavy duty customers how to install the security gateway module bypass at that time. Now we're going to put the vehicle in the on position, or the run position rather, and then plug in our programmer into the OBD2 port. You'll see a series of lights, but when we get the green solid light, we're going to disconnect it. Now that we have the green light, we can disconnect it. Now we're going to shut the vehicle off. We're going to disconnect the bypass and stow it away. We will no longer need it. And then we're going to plug those 2 connectors back into that module. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and turn the vehicle on. Right away you notice the nice 8.4-inch touchscreen here with the high resolution display. Just an awesome display here. Backup camera, everything just crystal clear. Steering wheel controls, you retain everything guys. This is 100% factory Mopar Ram parts. So similar to the UAM, you have the AM FM SXM for satellite radio, media, climate controls. Now those of you who are coming up from a non-automatic climate control to an automatic climate control, it will take a couple sleep cycles of the vehicle for everything to display properly. But you notice here it's on. You have your app section here, so similar to the other vehicles, you can, in the other vehicles that have the UAV system, you can drag and drop. This has built-in nav. Now this nav, guys, is awesome. So get in your car, set your home, set your business, whatever. It takes you where you need to go. The directions come out of the speakers. You can search by address, points of interest, so on and so forth. You can actually tell it where you want to go, and it will pick that up. The map here is phenomenal. It has the pinch to zoom feature. Just really neat. Has 2D, 3D maps. Also has 3D landmarks for those of you who are near downtown areas. In the settings menu, which is pretty neat, this one features it, is the set theme. You can actually come in here and set different themes, or wallpapers rather, for your truck. So just an awesome upgrade here with the high resolution display and the built-in GPS navigation. You just jump in the truck and you're on your way. So now I'll show you just real quick, similar to the UAM, the CarPlay obviously is going to work the same way. You're just going to plug in your lightning cable, press CarPlay, and bam, now you have it right here on your display. So just a really, really cool upgrade is the UAV system.